So I'm going to go ahead and showcase two different loadouts in this video. One's going to be for a more aggressive playstyle, the other for a more laid back passive playstyle. And before we get into the weapons and the attachments and stuff, and I will add some timestamps for accessibility and just ease of if you just want to quickly see the attachments and perks and what have you. First, we're going to go ahead and just get into the perks and equipment. First, we're going to have cold-blooded. That's pretty much a given, just in the sense of being invisible in heartbeat sensors and not being able to get spotted as easily on thermal scopes, which both of those things are heavily used in this game. Next, we have Overkill, and that's simply just to get two different weapons or two different primary weapons. I think that's kind of a given. Some people do like to run Ghost at times. But you can pick and choose. But for us, in this loadout, we're going to use Overkill. And then lastly, probably the most important thing here is Amped. This increases your weapon swap speed, and that is really everything. You're going to realize pretty quickly if you play a lot of Warzone, weapon swap speed becomes your best friend. The faster, the better, right? And I'll actually go ahead and add in here a clip of when we actually got second place, and it wasn't me shooting, but my squad mate was shooting. Probably, I think it was the last guy to get the win, and he tried to switch his weapon, and it was so slow, and he just kept shooting him while he was trying to switch his weapon to get the kill, and it pretty much cost us the win. So it's an extreme case right there, but there are some scenarios all the time where your weapon swap speed is everything. So, and then we'll go ahead and get into the equipment. We're going to have our C4 equipped for that, and then we will have our heartbeat sensor. So for the first loadout, we're going to get into the aggressive close combat one, and that includes the M4 and the MP5. So for the M4 on our muzzle, we have our monolithic suppressor. This is for simple just sound suppression, damage range. This is our longer range option in this loadout. We want to increase our range. The monolithic suppressor is a great way of kind of hitting two birds with one stone. For optics, we have the scout optic, and I think it's the best medium between close and long range. We don't put it like a sniper scope on there. That's kind of ridiculous. And I like the reticules on this. I like how it feels and the ADS speed and all that jazz. So I think that's just the best option. For stock, we have the M16 stock, kind of going with the grip you'll see in later. We just want to increase our aim stability. We're getting longer range engagements. We need better recoil stabilization so we can actually hit our shots at long range. And even with this and the Ranger foregrip, it can be pretty hard to control the recoil. And then obviously for ammo, you want to max out your ammo capacity. That's kind of just a given. You're going to see that with every single gun in these loadouts. Maximum round magazines. And then for our foregrip or underbarrel, we have the Ranger foregrip, just like the M16 stock. We're just trying to increase recoil stabilization so we can hit our shots at longer range. And then our MP5 setup is very similar, if not identical, to like a regular multiplayer setup. This is for super close range engagement. So we have the subsonic integral suppressor. Instead of putting the monolithic on, all we're going for with our suppressor here is just sound suppression. We don't care about damage range, and a monolithic suppressor is actually going to decrease your mobility, whereas the subsonic barrel increases your mobility. And then for our stock, we have the collapsible. We're increasing that ADS speed. We're increasing that mobility. Same with the stipple. We're increasing ADS. We're increasing mobility. We want to be quick with the MP5. This is for, again, super close combat here. We need to be quick with the weapon. 45 round mags, like I said earlier, increasing our magazine size. And then a little outlier here, we do have the commando foregrip, just so we can get a nice sweet spot so our recoil isn't just completely all over the place. We don't want to focus so much on increased mobility, but for the most part, that is the main focus on this, is just getting a good amount of mobility on this and being super quick with it for those super close range engagements. So for me with this loadout, like we said earlier, it's a lot more aggressive. I get some better looking gameplay for the most part. We get more kills, but I've never found any success with it. And I think that's the biggest con, is the style of gameplay. you just are more naturally going to find more action, which obviously increases your chances of dying. That being said, I haven't used this loadout a whole lot. I've definitely used the other one that we'll talk about later a lot more. I think if I kept using this, I would find a lot of success with it. And for the few games that I have used this loadout, it's been really, really good, which is why I'm mentioning it here in this video. I started out with it, and then I could lean more towards the sniper and the AR, but for the most part, the biggest thing is it's just a lot of fun to use. And we'll see here just a lot of kills and almost always very close range. I think the MP5 is great. I really should have switched it there, but there's some. I'll kind of showcase the C4 here a little bit, not too much though. It's kind of, I was stupid here. I don't know why I did that. But the M4, the biggest thing here, and you'll see in these two clips here, the recoil is just a little ridiculous sometimes. I managed to get the kill there, which was nice. Just takes a lot of control to control the M4, but for the most part, great loadout. For our next loadout, we are going to the longer range, more laid back game style here with the Grau and the AX50. So for the Grau, we use a pretty favorable loadout that I like to use in both Warzone and multiplayer. For the muzzle, we're doing the monolithic suppressor, increasing our range and obviously adding that sound suppression. We're actually going to use a barrel this go around. We're going to use the Nexus. It increases our range, bullet velocity, and our recoil control. The recoil control of this gun is amazing. I actually prefer to use this loadout more than the other one. I found more success with it. And the iron sights that this barrel comes with are awesome. And you'll see in the clips here. Then we have this Void 2 rear grip. It increases our ADS and our sprint to fire speed. At the end of the day, this AR is our closer range option since our other weapon is a sniper. So we do need to add some ADS speed. And then we actually want to go 60 round mags here. You can do 50 as well. I think 50 sometimes works well enough. And 50 means increased mobility. And then we had our Commando 4 grip for recoil stability. So for the sniper, we again have our monolithic suppressor for sound suppression and damage range. Then we're going to go down the thermal scope route here for our optics. And you can either do the regular thermal or you can do the dual one where it has the different ranges on there. I think the dual power thermal scope decreases your mobility and your ADS, which we're trying to get rid of here with this stock, this Scene Guard Arms Assassin. It increases our ADS. At the end of the day, if you just keep that suppressor and that optic on there, the ADS is super slow. So we're putting the stippled on, we're putting that stock on, and we're doing as much as we relatively can with those attachments to increase ADS. And obviously we want to increase our magazine size, increase our ammo capacity. And that'll be it for the longer range loadout. So this setup here is the one that I've used a lot more often. I found more success with it, and that might just align with the fact that I've used it a lot more. It's the more laid back one, right? You have your sniper and you have your AR, and you're going to see a lot of the times I am sitting back and sniping and trying to pick people off from a distance. Super big con with sniping is situations like this. I've probably downed the same two people like 4 times, and they're getting behind cover. Same with on a roof. You might down someone on a roof or in a window, you can't get the kill. That's the biggest problem with sniping. It is satisfying when you can pull it off, but 9 times out of 10 with a sniper, I'm only getting a down, I'm never getting a kill. Which is probably where it's more favorable to use the other loadout. Like I said, I've used this one a lot more. It's been suited to my gameplay. I'm trying to change my gameplay style to the more aggressive side of things. So you'll probably see me using the M4 MP5 setup a lot more often in the future. But regardless, I think this AR is great. It's perfect for close and long range engagements. The recoil control on this is just insane, and it's definitely one of the go-to loadouts. So that's about all I got for this video. Like I said earlier, really great loadouts. You have a more aggressive play style and a more laid back, longer range play style. Whatever floats your boat, whatever suits the way that you play Warzone. I highly suggest trying out these loadouts. But I hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and I will catch you all around.